What would you say is the best part about living in the 21st century? Is it the wealth of information available online, the ability to connect with anyone in the world via social media, or maybe it's the advanced medical care provided by our modern healthcare system? Well, while many of the advances of modern life are indeed amazing, some of our modern innovations may be slowly killing us. Join me today as we look at some of the everyday things that are killing us slowly but surely. Knocking. Knocking. Have you ever heard of a car engine knocking? Engine knock, also known as detonation, is a problem every driver hopes they never hear. The problem happens when the fuel in your car's cylinders detonates rather than combusting regularly. This causes an unwanted and extremely loud tapping sound. Some engines, especially older ones, are more susceptible to knock than others, but when any engine knocks, it's usually a sign that there's a problem somewhere. Depending on how severe the problem is, a driver may be able to continue driving safely, but in extreme cases, engine knock can cause complete engine failure. Imagine you're driving down a busy highway at high speed, and suddenly you hear a loud knocking sound. Your car starts to shake violently. You pull over to the side of the road and pop the hood, but everything looks fine. What happened? Well, chances are your car suffered a brief case of engine knock. But what causes this phenomenon? Engine knocking is caused by several factors, including low-quality fuel, improper ignition timing, and worn-out spark plugs. However, there is another cause that is less well known. In 1923, a scientist named Tom Migley Jr. discovered a chemical additive that could stop engine knock dead in its tracks. Excited by his discovery, the automobile and oil industries invested heavily in production facilities and started advertising the wonder of the new anti-knock compound. But no one realized it was slowly killing everyone. The first refinery to begin using the additive was a Standard Oil facility in the port of New York and New Jersey. But this was just one of countless products the refinery turned out daily for the diverse needs of America. The shiny metal building housed the Tell department. It was a large, brightly lit room with a glass wall where the entire process of making the additive was on display for all employees to see. The department consisted of 6 main parts. The first was a large mixer where raw materials were combined. The second was a series of distillation towers used to separate the desired fraction. The third was a reaction chamber where the TL was produced. The fourth was a washing tower where the product was purified. The fifth was a drying tower where excess moisture was removed, and the sixth was a storage tank farm where the final product was held before distribution. Each step of the process was carefully monitored and controlled by a team of highly skilled operators. The efficiency of the operation was a source of pride for the plant, and it quickly became one of the most profitable departments in the refinery. However, within a year of production, strange maladies began to appear among the workers. Men began to exhibit symptoms of insomnia, memory loss, anxiety, and these sudden bouts of rage. Some workers began to babble deliriously, while others had to be taken away in straitjackets. At first, the company tried to ignore these incidents, but as more and more workers became affected, they knew they had to do something. Concerned relatives pleaded with management to close down the plant, but their pleas fell on deaf ears. Standard Oil was determined to solve the problem without shutting down operations. They assembled a team of doctors and scientists to investigate the incident and determine the cause. After months of research, they concluded that there was no link between the plant and the symptoms exhibited by the workers. Relieved but shaken by the ordeal, Standard Oil released a press statement claiming that the men were probably driven to this because they worked too hard. However, the truth was far more sinister. Unknowingly, the workers had been inhaling dangerous amounts of a substance called tetraethyl lead. Lead has been known to cause neurological damage for centuries, and yet Standard Oil continued production despite mounting evidence. In fact, they poured millions into making it safer. Still, it wasn't enough. To dismiss everyone's concerns, Standard Oil executives did something that most PR firms today would not recommend. They held a press conference featuring the creator of Tell himself, Thomas Meege. They got Miji to wash his hands in a bowl just filled with teal and said, "Look, I wouldn't do this if it was bad. Look at me, I'm totally fine." Leaded gasoline was still sold for the next 70 years. But after that press conference, Miji took a little vacation to Florida, where he was treated for lead poisoning. When he recovered, he went on to found a toxicology institute. Ironically, he died of a heart attack at the age of 54. The toenail. It was the best invention since sliced bread, the X-ray machine. At first, scientists believed that the X-ray machine was a medical breakthrough, but it was quickly adapted for commercial purposes. Shoko, a brand name created by the General Electric Company, introduced a revolutionary new product to the market in the 1920s. The Shoko machine was designed to help shoe retailers increase sales by allowing them to show customers the inside of their feet without them having to take off their shoes. It was a sensation, and it quickly became a popular fixture in shoe stores across the country. By the 1930s, the shoe industry was hooked on the Shoko machine. Manufacturers of the machines encouraged shoe stores to put multiple units on the floor so that more customers could experience the thrill of seeing their own feet on film. The machines were designed to be simple to use, allowing even untrained employees to operate them effectively. The film used in the machines was specially coated so that it could pick up even the faintest X-ray. This meant that the images produced were often clearer than those produced by traditional X-ray machines. As the popularity of the Shoko machine grew, so did the number of businesses looking to capitalize on the trend. Dozens of companies began manufacturing similar devices, each claiming to be better than the last. But beneath the hype, there was a darker story unfolding. Doctors had been warning about the dangers of X-rays for years, but their warnings were ignored. The shoe industry was too busy raking in profits to care about the potential risks involved in using X-ray machines in shoe stores. For decades, the shoe industry profited from the Shoko craze, completely oblivious to the health risks that the machines were posing to customers and employees alike. It wasn't until 1953 when the FDA stepped in and banned the devices outright that people realized the gravity of the situation. White phosphorus. Since the dawn of civilization, humans have sought to tame fire to their advantage. Fire has provided us with warmth, light, and a means of cooking our food. But controlling fire is not always easy. In the past, people had to resort to using sticks and stones to generate sparks in order to start a fire. But in the early 1800s, scientists managed to develop a much easier way to start a fire using chemicals. Friction matches were invented by John Walker, a chemist in England. These matches consisted of a matchstick dipped into a solution of chemicals that would ignite when scraped against a rough surface, such as a fireplace. But the matches were not very efficient and sometimes failed to light. In 1840, chemists found a solution: white phosphorus. White phosphorus is a white form of the element phosphorus that is highly reactive and ignitable. It can catch fire spontaneously in air and burn at high temperatures. Despite its dangerous nature, white phosphorus was used extensively in the manufacture of matches during the late 19th and early 20th centuries due to its ability to produce a bright flame and its relatively low cost. But white phosphorus is a dangerous substance that can cause serious health problems if inhaled or ingested. It can also ignite spontaneously in air and cause fires or explosions. Despite its dangers, white phosphorus was widely used in the manufacture of matches and other products. It was not until 1910 when chemists developed a safer alternative that white phosphorus was phased out of production. But white phosphorus is not the only example of a dangerous substance being used in everyday products. For example, asbestos was used extensively in the construction industry due to its insulating properties. Similarly, lead was used in paints and products like leaded gasoline despite its toxicity. In each of these cases, the use of a dangerous substance resulted in negative consequences. Asbestos has been linked to a variety of respiratory diseases, including lung cancer and mesothelioma. Lead poisoning can cause a range of physical and psychological problems, especially in children. Now it's time to hear from you. What do you think is the most dangerous everyday item? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos about crazy science experiments.